You know, you mentioned both your dad and your brother, you know, in talking earlier about guitar, and I remember a lot of times, you know, hearing you talk about your family, and I think you just close family, mm-hmm. And it seems to me that some of those memories and stories came out in songs. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. I've got 3 other brothers. We're all about a year apart. And, you know, it's great growing up in a family where you're that tight. You know, you got 3 buddies to hang out with. And, you know, my mom, God bless her, get off the roof, boys, you know. But yeah, I think that my early going especially, you know, I'm writing a lot different kind of songs now, but I did mind my past quite a bit. And there's so many Huck Finn stories where I grew up, and I think probably a town like this has it too. Kids get out of the house, don't come back till dinner, and you're out feeding off the trees for lunch and the orchards and stuff. And the lakes that we had growing up in Niles, where I grew up is Niles Canyon. It's where the first set of train tracks came into the Bay Area in the 1860s. And it was the first Hollywood. Charlie Chaplin made the tramp there. It's a real colorful place, an old downtown, and we all had paper routes, and we made money however we could, collecting bottles, and those always led to adventures. You always had a mitt, you know, and a ball hanging off the front of your bike to get a game going. Yeah. I sound like an old guy now because I am an old guy, but I wrote these songs. I was pretty young, looking back on my childhood, and you guys, I don't know if you're all, you know, writing or creative writers, or maybe you're musicians, but, you know, you're all living the stuff you're going to write about later. That's what you're doing.
A lot of good material there. Why don't you give us an example?
Sure. I'm going to borrow your guitar.
Sure.
And see what kind of damage I can do. I'm going to plug this in somewhere in the back. Ready for this?
Bill?
Gonna go crackle, snap, pop. Here we go. All right. So I mentioned the paper routes. Everything I had, paper routes, clothes. A lot of it was hand-me-downs from my brother. From all my brothers. My brother John, the oldest, started the paper outs, and Danny got one, and we all had a couple of paper outs to make some money. And then my brother Pat, my oldest brother right above me, we shared a room, and he got a job working for the grocery store in town because he was old enough to do that. And by the time I was 18 and 16, 17, he was working for the grocery store. He'd come home from work at night. He was managing the store at night when he was 19, 20. And I was still in high school. And I was trying to sleep, and he'd come in and he'd turn the light on. I'd roll over, cover my head with the pillows, and I couldn't tell him what to do. He could tell me what to do. And so he'd start to clip his toenails. And I'd wake up, and he'd start to talk to me about his day. It was like I was his spouse. He was coming home to tell me about his day. And it meant a lot as memories for brothers. I didn't like it at the time to get woke up, but we look back on it now, man, that was good brother time. And I didn't know it, but he was teaching me the grocery business because he was talking about his day. And when I got out of high school, I went to work for him. I was a bagger. I'd bag the groceries at store number 3. I wear a white shirt and tie, no one's faster than me. I'm the youngest bagger here, I work 4 shifts a week. I wet down the produce and I bale up the cardboard, and I fetch out the shopping carts in front of the store. And I know I'm the low man on the pole, nowhere but up to go for me. The bagger at store number 3. I play along where the trucker cracks a joke to help pass the time for the kids and their folks. They say, throw in some candy, man, I'm dying for a smoke. They read the gossip and the rags by the stands, talk about the neighborhood, the heat and the gangs. And I count the bottles they trade in for change, but it stays the same. For the low man on the pole, every time I punch the clock I see the world from store number 3. A woman comes in here 2 times a month for a 12-pack of lager and a Hunger Man lunch. I walk her outside, she leans on the cart, then she leans on my memory, she forgot where she parked. Some live on welfare, they got children to feed. Some turn to stealing to get what they need, but mostly they work and spend it like me. As fast as the bagger at store number 3. At night I start the sweeping and I straighten up the rows. At 10 I hear my brother say, come on, it's time to close. He got me in here, taught me everything I know. Like when to keep my mouth shut, or when to speak my mind, when to take a shortcut, or when to take my time, how to help people know it's okay to be in line, and how to give some credit to the low man on the pole, nowhere but up to go for me, the bagger at store number 3.